This is gonna be a first time thing. We're gonna do the whole episode together.
Let's do it.
All right, man. Let's make it official. Welcome back to the Face Music Podcast, my first ever returning guest to the show. And no one better to do it than you, man.
Proud to be back, man. It's an absolute pleasure. I've been watching the last 40 some odd episodes, man.
I
It is it,
appreciate that.
it's something I look forward to. And like when I get off work and whatnot, they're not uploaded yet, like on Saturdays or,
Yeah,
on the weekend. So when I wake up before I head back into work, I always throw it on.
that's awesome. I love to hear that.
Yeah, dude.
My 2026 upload schedule has been a nightmare.
That bad. Well, you mean you did get over being sick, so if not for nothing, you talk, during these things. It's
Yeah,
not like you're just sitting there asking a question, then waiting 45 minutes for a response. Like,
right.
you're actually engaging. So if your throat is killing you, it's like a singer. You
Yeah.
gotta rest, dude.
Well, so I mean, like in November, me and Rosalie moved into my parents' house. So
Mm.
we've been here ever since. I still can't find work, so we're kind of just trying to recoup a little bit. I was sick when we moved in, and
Oh, sh
I was like running low. My voice was killing me. I lost my voice almost completely for about a month. So
oh,
after the actual like Linkin Park episode I did with your brother,
yeah.
um, I didn't have a voice till February.
Jesus.
So all of my I took December mostly off. I did the like the Face of Music Awards thing
Yeah,
and struggled through that. January I took like a week off to try to like kind of get it back. Second episode was rough. I was coughing my brains out, but like I was still doing interviews and shit too because I had so much shit lined up to do for the end of the year.
yeah,
I was killing my voice instead of resting it.
yeah. You
Yeah,
gotta.
that was bad.
Because like sometimes you really do have to take care of yourself, man. Like
Yeah.
it really is. Especially as you get older. Not saying
Yeah.
that you're ancient, but like as you get older, you know, you you don't bounce back as much as you used to. Like you could, at 18 years old, if you mess up your knee or some shit, you're like, oh, I can, I'll walk it off.
Yeah.
All right. But then as soon as you hit 30 and you're like, oh, I messed up my knee, and now you're bedridden for 3 weeks.
Yep.
Having your wife have to do everything. And then and she's in her 30s, so then she gets sick, and now both of you guys are just sitting there with the dog trying to bounce on top of your chest, and it's just, oh, it's a wonderful thing.
Dude, Rosalie's idea of R&R is to get up and clean everything. Like she doesn't know how to just be sick
Yeah,
and lay down and just take care of herself. She's like, no, there's things that have to get done. I have to do them. I'm like, dude, I mean, God bless, because if I get a cold, I'm laid
yeah.
out for a week.
Oh, dude, I get that. Like Krista with her teaching schedule through the year,
Yeah,
she doesn't feel good, which is most days. Like she's been, since spring came back and the
yeah.
pollen's up, like she, will get a headache or be congested. She's still go, go, go. She has to. And I asked her one day, I was just like, how come you don't like just take a day off work? Like she hasn't taken a day off this entire year, like for sick or
Wow.
anything like that. And she goes, well, it's more of a pain in the ass to take off than it is to just deal with it and go through. Because, she can handle the
Yeah.
kids. She's been teaching, oh, I want to say 7 or 8 years,
Wow.
um,
Long time.
total. So she knows how to handle the class. It's just a matter of getting through the day,
Yeah.
which she does, and she's good at what she does. And I just wish that she would take the time to, maybe heal up. But she's got all summer, so it works out.
Yeah. Can't complain about that. Um, yeah, and then like last month I caught something again. I lost my voice again. So what I was aiming to get back on track doing once a week shows by the end of January. Ended up getting pushed back. Now I'm every other week at least.
All right.
So for 2026 so far, I think I've only released 4 episodes.
Yeah. The
And I've been battling with Spotify too, because the Chris Caffrey episode, they keep taking it down.
copyright.
Yeah, because I do the top 10 thing, and they keep flagging me for every other song now. So I gotta try to, I don't know, because it's funny as hell, because the songs that I'm playing, I'm getting from Spotify. You
Yep.
have to have a Spotify subscription to listen to this shit, and those songs where the songs came from.
Yeah.
But, because I'm using them in an episode on Spotify, like
Yeah.
it makes no sense.
Dude, I've gotten copyright claims on shit I've written. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
it's like I got a copyright claim on an Illusions video I did. I got a copyright claim on the Typhon Rising stuff that I did. I got copyright claim on my own songs with my own name on my own channel.
yeah.
Like, I don't, I don't, I don't get it.
So it's been a battle. I actually have to re-upload again the Chris Caffrey thing. And like, dude, I mean, I wanted people to hear that one so bad. So I
Yeah,
hope everyone has been watching on YouTube. That's all I
yeah,
could wish for is that everyone has been just getting it towards YouTube. Um, Spotify has been a nightmare lately. So and it was such a good interview. He's such a cool dude.
right.
Um, you know.
Yeah, and it sucks that you have to deal with that, man. It's like copyright is even if it's used under fair use, they
Yeah.
don't believe in that.
No.
And never mind the friggin' law that says like, hey, you can use it in editorial or you could use it in commentary,
Yep.
review type things. And even though this falls under that, they still go, oh, but that's our property.
Yeah,
You
the
can't use
crazy the
it.
craziest thing about that is if you claim fair use in review, they say, "Well, we're going to take the episode down anyway while we review fair use."
Yeah,
It's like, well, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, there is no harm, no foul, you know?
yeah.
Like
It's like,
leave the shit up until you do your review because
well,
I can tell people go listen to these 10 songs, they're going to go listen to these 10 songs whether it's on Spotify or not. You
yeah.
know,
I don't
doesn't
listen to Spotify.
matter.
It's like
And
I watch like the videos when they come out on Spotify, but then I go
yeah.
back and I watch them on YouTube. It's just easier for me to access,
Yeah.
and I can get it on my television. So,
Mhm. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think the licensing is ever going to change. It's only getting worse, to be honest with you.
yeah,
When I started doing this last year, it was so much easier to just upload shit and let it ride. YouTube was my only problem, and then Spotify started cracking down too. And I'm like, all right, well, I mean, I'm not getting rid of this segment. People are
yeah.
getting exposed to thousands of songs at this point. Like, I'm not going to take that away from everybody.
Good for you.
Um, yeah, I mean, ultimately, it's probably going to cost me. Probably end up removing my channel or some shit. But
Hey, make another one.
yeah, it's come back stronger.
Yeah, we'll start a wrestling and booze podcast called Beer and Wrestling. Me and
Yeah,
like that's actually on my notes. Nobody take that. Nobody take that idea. That's mine. Like
yo, you never should have put it out there.
that's okay. Somebody will do it.
It's a
That's
good
all
thing
right.
nobody listens to this fucking thing.
I listen to it. You know.
So let's jump in, man. Obviously you watched Mania.
Yeah.
Actually, before we get to Mania, let's talk about what's been going on with you the past year. Because when we last had you on the show, you had just released, I think, your second single,
Yeah.
and there's been a lot going on since. So let's talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah, I had at the time of that podcast, I think I had Can You Hear Me and Lucid Dreams.
Yeah.
And since then I've released Blind Eyes, Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and the Careless Whisper cover. Um, which came out so good. Jason did and Jason Baker's my engineer. He did an amazing job, a flawless performance on that on vocals for that because I had all
Yeah,
the instrumentals. That was it. But I could not nail the timbre of the vocals. Like I couldn't get to that range. And for some, and I can sing. I'm not, terrible. Actually, I'm pretty terrible. But when it comes to that kind of song, I needed somebody who had good cleans, and I scream a lot better than I clean. And with Jason, he's been such a death metal guy for his entire career that he was just looking for an opportunity. And we had a small taste of that with the Kill Switch Engage cover that we did with My Last Serenade, and he knocked it out of the park. And it was just simple math going on to him. He was like, "Hey, you want to sing this?" And he goes, "Abso-fucking-lutely." And he nailed it, dude. He got it back to me with vocals in like a day. Like he just nailed it. No freaking auto-tune editing bullshit. Like he gave me the raw stems and they
yeah,
sounded, oh, so good, dude. It came out so good. I love Jason. Him and my buddy Tim are my best friends out here. Um, and they're both very musically talented. But with Blind Eyes, it was it's a POD track, kind of thing. It's
yeah,
something that you expect on like a B side of the record. Um, but that one was I was still in this hip hop element, and I'll always be in this hip hop element. And uh, I just like to rap. It's it's not easy, but once you get the cadence down of how you want the song to track, it's so easy to just write out lyrics. But the hard part is just rhyming shit.
right.
Yeah, with metal, we can get away with not having to rhyme things. You could just yell into a microphone and somebody be like, "Oh, that touches my soul."
Poetry.
Meanwhile, you just screamed about cantaloupes for 45
Right.
minutes. Yeah. But with rap and hip hop, even going from that into R&B, the lyrics have to mean something or at least have
Yeah,
some sort of stanza that you can read off of.
yeah.
So I love getting the ability to it. I actually have like two or three other rap tracks that I just have in my hard drive that are probably never going to see the light of day, but they're pretty all right. You know,
Make them see the light of day.
I kind of wanna.
Yeah.
But
Hey man, I owe you a collaboration at this point too.
it's
So
all good,
I
dude.
shit the bed on that, and I'm so sorry, but let's make that happen.
Don't stress out about it, man. You got enough crap going on. As far as music goes, it'll happen.
Yeah,
It'll happen. I mean, shit, we already have the intro for the show.
right.
So,
Yeah,
that
that's
that's
true.
one in the bag. It's one in the bag. We just got to get to two.
Dude, it's funny enough that was supposed to be for a hot sauce commercial
Yeah.
like 10 years ago at this point.
Yeah, but at least it's getting used, man.
Yeah,
Like, I've sent so many people music that I've done for them, whether it be session work or stuff for commercials or theme songs for wrestlers. Like, I've
yeah,
sent so many out, and a lot of them don't get used, and that's okay. I'm not getting any money for this. I'm not getting paid for this. I do
right.
this just because I want to. Rich Kaysen from NYWC used my song on the hell yeah the freaking like he used my song on one of the streams that they did on the independent pay-per-view
Oh,
that they
cool.
did. And they were streaming the NYDBC show, and I'm sitting there in my living room in the old apartment, and I hear, "If you're gonna party, then you're gonna party hard." And I went, "That's me. Oh my God." It's like I'm on pay-per-view. Like that
Yeah,
was cool. It was like
that's sick.
I'm marked out so cool. And like it might never happen again. Probably won't happen again. But at the same time, I get a kick out of it because he liked the track enough to where he wanted to use it on a big show.
Yeah.
It's like I think that was the one that they did at Mulcahy's.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
yeah. So it was really cool to watch that. I love New York Wrestling Connection.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, speaking from personal bias, but best on the island for sure.
Yeah. That
You
that is
know?
some Long Island born wrestling. That and
Yep.
like outlaw pro wrestling is just some New York born. We're gonna kick your ass.
Bring it to the backyard type shit.
Yeah, but it's nice to see those guys like my buddy James who does independent wrestling in the Northeast
Yeah.
as the Miasma. He still uses my songs and I co-wrote that track with Frank, my buddy who used to play in a band called The Dead Are Living. And he writes scores for horror movies. He is such a
Wow.
cool, down to earth homie. Like he'll straight up tell you whether something sucks or not.
Yeah.
And I can respect that. And
Yeah.
I sent him a demo track and he turned it into this entire production with like strings and chorus and shit. And I'm like, how do
That's
you do that?
dope.
And he goes, I'm not telling because this is how I make money. And I was
Right.
like, okay.
He
He was like, I love
uses he uses Suno. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah, dude, Frank is Frank's a good buddy of mine. The he's doing ex insane things with the gift that he has. I was like, I love that guy.
If you could find a way to turn your gift into gold, like there should always be a way to do it, but if you actually figure that formula out, like just
Yeah.
take it and run with it. Don't ever tell anyone how to do it. Just do it.
Exactly. Yeah. And like he it really is the magician's method of like,
Yep.
I'm not gonna tell you how I do the trick, but I'll sell it to you for $50, you know. So
Yeah, man. It's always easier than you think it's going to be
yeah.
because someone else cracked that code.
Hmm.
But truth be told, like if you had the keys to the kingdom, like would you know how to use it? Would you really like,
I wouldn't know how to use it. I don't know
you
how
know?
to it's like I just do things,
Yeah. It
famous line.
it it could just be as easy as like, yeah, I play background chords on a MIDI piano and that's the
Yeah.
thing. But to have the ear to do it and make it sound good is something completely different.
No, I agree with you. I'm sorry. I'm checking my front camera because my dog's
Yeah.
out upstairs. Nope, we're good. Nobody's breaking in. I don't have to do anything stupid. All right.
Nice.
The no, she'll bark at the if even if the Amazon guy is like parked across the street or like, if she could smell the truck, she'll just start barking. So
Yeah.
she's a good puppy.
Dogs be dogs.
Dogs be dogs. Oh. But yeah, and then jumping back to the music thing with Jekyll and Mr. Hyde,
Yeah.
um, that was, and I remember sending the demos to like you and Tyler and a couple other homies. I just was like, hey, what do you guys think about this? And the response I got was if Lamb of God, Arch Enemy, and like any other band of that style had a baby, and I was like,
Yep.
yes, this is the response I'm going with because it's not wrong in music to hide your influences. You don't
No.
always have to be completely original with a new sound. You can still work off your influences, man. Like,
And
and
dude,
it
at,
came out great.
at the end of the day, good music is still good music.
Yeah.
As long as you're not like writing redneck with different lyrics and calling it your own, we're good, you know?
Yeah, looking at you, Kid Rock with Sad But True, and taking that whole thing.
That's different though, because Metallica played on the track.
Kid Rock.
Well, dude, I mean, it's like P. Diddy using Jimmy Page with what was the song? "Come With Me" for the Godzilla soundtrack in like '97.
Yeah,
It was
sounds right.
Kashmir,
Yeah.
but Jimmy Page played on the track. It's the only way he was going to license Kashmir to be used.
Well, I guess
So,
if you're gonna do it, you might as well have the guys who, made the track.
yeah.
So I can respect that, but at the same time, it's like, dude, just take the influence.
Yeah.
Like, okay, prime example. Um, Avenged Sevenfold in the Hail to or on the Hail to the King record wrote a
Ugh.
track
Yeah, they
that
did.
sounded so much like Sad But True. It was not
This
even
is war.
close. Yeah, and not for nothing, that is a good track. It's such a banger, but
If
you can
Sad But
hear,
True never existed, that would be the best track on that album.
yeah, and
But
I
I
still,
mean,
it just came
it's
out so good.
the
So
the structure of the song, the lyrical cadence, like every bit of that song is Sad But True rewritten.
yeah, but at the same time, you can sit there and you can go, oh, hey, they actually wrote with their influencers. They're not just
Yeah.
trying to be Avenged Sevenfold. They're trying to go, hey, this is who we like. Do you vibe
Well,
with it?
so that was the thing. That was the thing about Hail to the King that you really have to take with a grain of salt is that every song on that album was them showing who influenced them.
Hmm.
Like Doing Time was a direct ripoff of Guns N' Roses. Like direct ripoff.
Yeah.
But they made it as avenged as a Guns N' Roses song could be,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
Um
You're still
like
gonna get dueling guitars. Like you're gonna get, the
yeah,
Avenged Sevenfold experience, but there's nothing wrong with, not necessarily copying, but paying tribute to
right.
a song structure. It's like the only gripe I have about that record is that that's the only record they made with Aaron when he became the drummer,
Yeah.
and they told him, "Hey, just four to the floor" type thing. Like they didn't let him breathe.
Yeah.
That dude was such an amazing drummer. Like I got to see them live with him, and it was just an experience.
So that was right between the two drummers, right?
Yeah, that was
It was between
between
Portnoy and
Brooks.
Brooks.
The and Brooks Wackerman is arguably one of the top five greatest drummers on the planet right now.
Gets no credit either.
Yeah, he is an absolute beast behind the kit. And Portnoy is Mike Portnoy. Everybody knows
Yeah,
Mike Portnoy. But Aaron was that little in between thing for the Hail the Ring cycle as well as the touring cycle, where he got a chance to shine on his like the drum solos he would do, but like the
yeah,
dude has chops. He's fast, he's controlled. He's not like, just going up there and intimidating or uh impersonating everybody.
right.
He's his own drummer and he got to shine during those moments, the little, fills that he would throw in during live ones, um, like during live tracks that are, not the Rev, but they're not Portnoy either.
Right.
Because Portnoy got a lot of his shit from the Rev's demos.
Yeah. Which ironically, in turn, the Rev got a lot of his shit from listening to Portnoy.
Yeah, which is,
So
Portnoy, and he was,
that's
a huge Metallica fan back in the day.
yeah,
That, and I find that a lot with drummers is that Metallica and uh, thrash bands are kind of the basis of where they go.
yeah,
Uh, and even if when it comes to the simpler beats, but also the fast stuff. Back in the day, Lars could play really, really fast.
yeah,
And he would, and then as he got older, he learned, okay, this is the formula. I'm going to do this. And I have a lot to say about Lars. I'm, a little biased when it comes to my hate towards his drumming, but I can respect the foundation that he and contribution to what he has made in metal. He has
right.
inspired so many drummers.
Yeah. I mean, we were just
Fire me,
talking
but that's
about this. We were just talking about this the other night at Project Zero rehearsal. Is that Lars has openly admitted that like after the load reload cycles were done, he just stopped practicing.
yeah,
He just stopped playing at home for the sake of playing. It was just if we're not rehearsing Metallica shit or writing for a new record, I'm not playing. And it's so detrimental to growth as a musician, but like if you're already on top, you like if you feel like you've reached your pinnacle, like I'm never going to get better,
yeah,
fine, coast on that, but still tighten your shit up every day. You're
yeah,
never too good to sit down and practice.
yeah.
But
Maybe practice to a metronome. Maybe,
yeah,
maybe, but but,
maybe.
it's also like you can't. Like James Hetfield, I guarantee you, the only time he's ever played to a metronome, excuse me, was in the studio. Because
Yeah.
you've seen him live where he'll go, okay, we're gonna play Master of Puppets, but I'm just gonna double time it for the sake of double timing, and I'm gonna do it all downstrokes because I am James Hetfield and I'm better than you, and you know it. So
Yep. And you know what? I accept that.
fine. That's fine because I can still get a kick out of watching him play. As much as people dog on Kirk for using, he made it with just a whammy pedal or a wah
Yeah.
pedal. But if you listen to him actually play guitar without the wah pedal, like if he's just riffing, he's good.
Yeah.
You can admire musicianship just because they've made it 40 years, 50 years playing the same shit.
Yeah.
Um, you can still say, hey, not for nothing. Those guys are really old and they're still playing great, minus Lars. But that's
Which
because,
is but that's exactly why I look at a band like Metallica and I can say that they could do no wrong in my eyes because
yeah,
they've been doing this for generations at this point, and they're still continuing to inspire people. There's still
yeah,
generations of people after they're gone that they're gonna find Metallica's music and see like the 1984 performances of Creeping Death and be like, holy shit, how do they play that fast? It's just down picking. They're gonna live forever. They're a band
yeah,
that truly will live forever. And like it's such a unique thing to live in that place and time to be like, I got to see that live. I got to witness Metallica as a functioning band, not just in their elder years, but like the Seb not Seb but true, the Saint Anger era. Like that's when I first started seeing them with Saint Anger, but they were still like they came back for that
yeah.
album. They were still playing all the other shit. The other shit sounded better than it ever did at that point because they were sober. But like,
Well, yeah, there's that.
you know,
You gotta stay sober, kids, as I drink this Coors Light.
but
They all fight me. The
but it's one of those things that you see with the older bands now. It's like it's not just Metallica, but the older bands are starting to realize that like we're not going to be able to do this forever. We're not going to be able to do this, maybe another 10 years. So let's give it all we got now. Let's still go out there and try to prove something every night, but let's have fun doing it, you
Yeah.
know?
Prime example, D. Snyder taking a
Oh
step back
man,
from Twisted Sister.
killed
You
me.
know, like he is Twisted Sister. Like
Yeah,
he
he
is the
is.
face of the band, and him having the medical issues and things like that that he was going through, to be cognizant enough of like, hey, I can't perform at the
Yeah.
level that I think I should be at, and taking that step back. Does it hurt the fan experience? Yes, but at the same time, Dee Snider and Twisted Sister have been playing for decades.
Yeah.
Is like there are people who went to their shows back in the day who are now bringing their children and grandchildren to the show.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Like
It's their
that is a
50th anniversary, dude. Like
yeah,
I can't even wrap my head around a metal band being around for 50 years, let
yeah,
alone a thrashy club band like Twisted Sister, you know?
yeah.
Like
But
the
it's the experience. It's like
yeah.
everybody back in the day, and even nowadays, like, you can't talk about great frontman without mentioning Dee Snider.
No.
He was outspoken. He was the ideal frontman, but when you actually talked to him, he articulated, he spoke with intelligence. He was, he's one of those guys who, hey, listen, I might get up on stage, I might wear makeup, big deal, but I can also out argue you ass on every single topic that I could think of, and I can fight you. So,
I mean, you also have to realize that he was the biggest voice in censorship in music, fighting Tipper Gore. He
yeah,
was the guy, you know.
to stand
Um,
up for all of us, and
yeah.
all we got out of that was just the parental guidance
Yep.
suggested on the, CDs, and maybe like, you lose an MTV spot. Big
Right.
deal. But him going up there and talking about how unfair it is for artistic interpretation to be misinterpreted as we are calling for violence, we are calling for drug use, we are calling for this. No, dude, you're just,
Right.
this is what we write about. Music as a whole is how I feel at this moment and a cool track.
Yep.
That's it. It's like
That's the
it's easy
science.
as that. And of course, Tipper Gore just went, well, not for nothing. Mothers of America ruined a lot of shit for this country. So
Yeah. Yeah. That whole argument, the whole Tipper Gore thing, like they that was a time in America where things were uncomfortable for everyone who was just coming out of like Beatlemania, who was just
yeah,
getting used to like the way things were with a louder sound, a more aggressive sound. You know, things are going to evolve. Things are never going to stay the same forever. And to go from the quieter side of things with like the Beatles and even I'll give you Sabbath and Zeppelin and shit because that was a kind of an easier transition than it was to go
yeah.
from the Beatles to Zeppelin to go from Zeppelin to Slayer, you know?
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's a that whole transitionary, like you could listen to Deep Purple,
Yeah,
right? You could listen to Deep Purple your entire life, and then Slayer is just such a 180. Even Anthrax, like any of the big four for that matter.
right.
Going from Deep Purple, the Beatles, Daggum, the Eagles, Heart, all the bands from the 70s, going into the 80s and whatnot, and then you have that thrash surgence that was happening,
Yeah.
and it just punched everybody in the gut.
Yeah.
And it's also the same thing with from the 80s to the 90s with the grunge era.
Right.
You can't go from Poison and Motley Crue to Nirvana.
Right.
You got to have that gateway band. And Sabbath and Zeppelin were those gateway bands to
Yeah.
get everybody into, hey, this is where we're heading. This is where the industry is heading. Check this shit out.
It's funny you mentioned Deep Purple too, because I will always say that Deep Purple was that gateway between the old school and what would be the new school. They were, in my eyes, the originators of metal. Black Sabbath, I feel like kind of felt like more on like the hard rock side. They were way more bluesy, more like doomy,
Yeah.
whereas Deep Purple had songs like Highway Star that were like fast and in your face and the high pitched screaming vocals and like that was early in their career. Like Sabbath was just learning how to walk when that was happening, you know.
Well, you got
Um
to start somewhere. So,
but I mean like it was already present. It was already very much a thing that was happening. Like you had Zeppelin with the high vocals, but they were very lax overall with their sound. Deep
Yeah.
Purple was like, we're gonna play a little bit faster. We're gonna do things a little bit heavier. And from there, like you really did have the birth of thrash.
Yeah.
You know,
And then
not that soon after, you had bands like Motorhead coming through. You had bands like
Motorhead.
Twisted Emergent. You had Anthrax. The Big Four was starting to like creep about. Um,
And then of course that
it's
led into your punk era. And punk music's been along for, a
well, I mean,
long
yeah,
time.
punk was
But
late '60s too, but
yeah, but you also had bands like the Ramones who were playing faster tracks. And no one gives them a lot of credit, mainly because of how they carried themselves when it came to as a band. But you had the Ramones who were playing, tracks that were just pretty fast. And they were,
yeah,
they were something that you could sit and bang your head to a little bit and enjoy it.
you
Couldn't
know,
understand what the hell they were saying because, the guy sounded like he was singing with a boatload of marbles in his mouth.
he was.
Like that is just my opinion. Don't come after the show. It's me. Come after me. The
I'll come right out and say it. The Ramones sucked, but if you break down what they did musically, it was cool,
Yeah.
and that's something that Hetfield actually credits the Ramones for is his hand technique for his down picking.
Mhm.
He fully credits the Ramones because of how they did it. It's like that's how they keep time in a song,
Yeah.
based on like they really broke it down to rhythms. The technique really is everything. So like it's not like they were just playing as fast as they possibly could. Like they were fitting it into measure and time still.
Yeah.
It was still 4/4. It was still basic crap, but like they were doing it within, the parameters of musical guidelines, we'll
Mm.
say, you know.
Yeah. There was still there might not have been a music theory behind it, but it
Exactly.
was still music.
Right.
I'm glad that James Hetfield didn't take the hair aspect from like Joey Ramone. Can you imagine James Hetfield walking out, former football player, type guy to walk out, just a little beefed up, still kind of hammered from the night before, and he's looking like Joey Ramone. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, dude, listen, in terms of like how far thrash metal bands have looked through the years, Hetfield kind of struck gold. He's always been kind of a handsome dude. Like
yeah, but
he's
he's also
always
he's also tall. Like
yeah.
he's a tall dude. He was predominantly one of the bigger cats in metal when not just
Yeah.
in height, he was still a beefy dude.
Yep.
Like I had muscle tone. Now, granted, through the 80s they were on the struggle bus, when it came to, and that's what a lot of people fail to realize about touring is that you're not getting catering every show when you're
Right.
starting out. You're not getting, oh, I can get access to these five-star hotels. I'm not getting the best places to sleep. I'm getting maybe 2 hours of sleep, 40 Slim Jims, and that's my daily, you know,
That's
my,
all I could afford.
yeah, that's all I can get. You're working off of, $5 sandwiches at 7-Eleven,
Yeah.
and you get this expired ham with this really crappy provolone. You just got to force feed it through your face to get to the next show. It's what a lot of, musicians had to work with before they strike it big. And a lot of folks who did that didn't strike it big and then went to normal jobs.
Yep.
The Here's a good example. The original drummer for a Skylit Drive,
Yes.
um, is a postman. Is like after he left the band or kicked out, I don't know the lore.
Yeah.
But he, left the band and there's this fully tatted up dude with, like size 3 gauges who's delivering your mail. But the important thing is to have a backup plan, kids, because
Yep.
sometimes it doesn't work out. Always got to have a backup plan. And if you don't, you're only failing yourself and your future.
Yeah. Honestly.
Cheers.
But it's also a matter of like finding a job that's going to be lenient enough to give you that backup option. Like
Yeah.
I was looking into working at Guitar Center recently, and their their pay is god awful. It's
Yeah.
it's trash pay.
It
But
is.
one of the things that they mention in their benefits is that if you're a musician and you're touring, you'll always have a job.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, that's pretty cool. That they'll grant you that leeway to be like, we understand that you're pursuing a career in other areas as well. You'll always have this to fall back on. You'll never not have a job with us if you're a touring musician. That's awesome. You can't say that about even retail jobs. Most retail
Oh,
jobs would be like, yeah, tough shit, you
yeah.
know.
like with when I was working there with Matty McAteer at and Sean Ryan at Guitar Center Comac.
Yeah.
I saw that, and there were I think one or two guys who went on like, 2, 3 week tours, came back at the end of it, just resumed like nothing was happening.
Yeah.
I was like, I loved working at Guitar Center. It was an absolute pleasure to just work in the warehouse because it wasn't public facing.
Right.
And I'm not the greatest with people. And what was cool is even though when I left for the Marines and I left for boot camp and my training, I came back after a year. Um, and just walked into the job like nothing happened because
Yeah.
they were so cool with the transitions for military as well as musicians. I have nothing but good things to say about Guitar Center. And it's like, if shit, dude, you should up Matty Mac, get an operations job, work in the warehouse, lift some
Yeah.
heavy shit. It's fun. It's like
Maybe.
it's a great job, and not for nothing, I was in the best shape of my life in that job because
Yeah.
I was carrying keyboards over my shoulder, just walking through the storefront, and they're yelling at me because I'm not wearing a weight belt or using a cart, and I'm like, how do you expect me to stay in shape? Like, I like this. Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
you should hit up Maddie, see if might be able to get a good word in for you, man, especially in the operations department.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
like
see.
Yeah, it's like even that or, the guitar department because I think Bo is still the guy at Comac, if I remember right. I haven't been home in a while.
Hmm.
But Bo is also a fountain of knowledge.
Oh yeah.
So and he's not an asshole. He's he's a nice guy. He'll give you the time of day and he'll try to if you're a beginner, he'll educate you a little bit and bring you up to speed on like, hey, listen, you like this genre, these are the ones for you. Oh, you don't have a lot of money, these are the ones for you.
Hmm.
He'll go from there. Because while he makes commission on it, he also doesn't want to screw over that guitar player. He doesn't want to sell you a
Right.
$4,000 guitar for your first guitar. I learned a lot from Bo when it came to the sales aspect of it. He's a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah, knowing that is extremely important. Knowing that like you're not gonna want to hard sell everybody that walks through the door and be like, the only way you're ever gonna be good at guitar is if you buy this $27,000
Yeah.
EVH replica guitar. Like tell your parents you need this for your birthday or they don't love you. Like
Son of like you were the mistake if they don't get you this guitar.
You go on the drum side, you'd be like, see that Jordison replica kit? You want
Yeah,
that.
you need that,
You
man.
need that.
You
You're
need
never gonna be good at drums if you don't have that.
It's like if you don't get the Pearl Demon XR George Colas friggin', pedals, you're useless. And you're
You see the price tag? It's that high for a reason. It's the best. You want the
yeah,
best, right?
it is the best. Never mind, the mechanics behind it or stuff that you're not going to understand because you don't know those big words yet. It's fine, man.
Listen, I know you're five, but if you ask nicely, maybe grandma could pitch in too.
That's why I'm glad that I started off on a my first double pedal was a PDP single chain pedal. My next one were Tama Iron Cobras, and the jump from that was astronomical.
Yeah.
I still have my Iron Cobras. They're in the back room over yonder behind the bar. There's like I've got those, I've got my Mapex Armory ones, and then I've got my Demon Drives over on the new cool Pearl kit that I got.
Which is very sick, by the
Yeah, I know.
way.
Oh, I love this drum set, dude. We're gonna be miking it up soon,
Oh,
um,
nice.
to get it recording because this is my father-in-law Tommy's kid, and he brought them out one day, and I always wanted an acrylic kit, and
Yeah.
I was eyeballing this kid. I've been with my wife 13 years. I've been eyeballing it for 13 years, and the he, the last Christmas he gave me it as a present, and it's arguably the best Christmas present I've ever gotten.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
because it's just I always loved the toms. The kick was but the
Yeah.
toms were, so thunderous, and I just wanted that kit. And he believes in my skill enough to where I'll take care of it. And that goes a long way with me. And granted, those shells have seen their fair share of, outside. Like this is not a take it outside the home kit.
No,
This
yeah.
side
That's
because
a you leave that home.
yeah, because there's so many spider cracks and things through the acrylic, but that doesn't harm the sound. My father-in-law Tommy, he sealed them, made sure that the cracks couldn't spread when they did.
Yeah.
He took really good care of this kit, and I want to do the exact same.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got that cool like John Bonham color, you know.
Yeah, it's got that orange, like that orange cream,
Yep.
style thing, and it's so pretty, man. I can't stop looking at it. It's just so nice. It's definitely my favorite kit that I have.
That's
So
awesome, man.
it's like, and I have too much drum. I have too many drums. But at least I got the house now to store them,
Yeah.
square them away. It's nice having a temperature controlled basement to where I don't have to worry about the maple in my regular drums screwing up.
Yeah.
Very happy about that.
So in terms of like what you're playing on your kit now, what pedals are you using? You said you got the demon drives on there?
Yeah, I've got the Pearl Demon drives on there, double pedal. And then on my electric kit, I have the DW 9000 XLs, longer footboard. It's not like a longboard pedal, so to speak, where it doesn't,
Right.
it still has the hinge at the tailpiece. So, but it works for me, and I bought those on a whim because I needed another set of,
Are those chain or strap driven?
those are chain. It's double chain. Like I said, longer footboard, and it just works. It's
Hmm.
a good set of pebbles. DW 9000s, I never owned a pair, but I
Yeah,
always liked them, and I finally was able to get them.
that's awesome.
Still want to get those Polish pedals eventually.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have always had like when I was playing single pedal, it
Yep.
was like whatever with whatever my parents bought. I think it was like a Yamaha pedal.
Yep.
Um
Good.
it wasn't bad. It was old, but it wasn't
Yeah.
bad. But then like my first double pedal was the Iron Cobras.
Yeah.
And really there was no going back for me from that. Like when I got the second kick drum and everything on my kit, I added another Iron Cobra pedal. Like I bought two singles instead of the double.
Yeah.
Um But I feel like it was just such a comfortable ride. Like it was, the tension control thing was huge with me. The
Yep.
beater placement was huge with me. But
Yeah.
dude, I
It's
miss I miss playing drums so much, man.
you should and like once y'all get squared away when it comes to finances and things like that,
Yeah.
dude, invest in an electronic kit.
Yeah.
It's such a game changer, man. Like I love this electronic kit. It's like especially if I want to play drums at 3 in the morning and
Right.
don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, my only experience using an E-kit was fuck, I don't even know how long ago at this point, but like my first metal band that I was ever in, Requiem of Ashes, we were recording in my guitarist's basement, and he had this like I don't even know how much he paid for it. It was a good kit, but he had like a bunch of like different samples and shit, but every time he used a sample, it would lag. There would be so much latency on it. So every time I was hitting the pad, I was hearing the sound like a second later, and
Yeah,
we got some dog shit recordings from that.
that's a sample rate thing.
Yeah,
Uh, I had
100%.
to I had to redo my sample rate when it came to it because I kept getting the same thing. You'd hear that second hit, like
Yeah,
it would just, even if it's a millisecond off, it's still, you hear it and you're not focused on the track.
yeah,
Um, then Jason, I was asking him about it because he's an outstanding engineer, and he goes, he's like, "Hey, what's your sample rate at?" And I went, "It's at this," and he goes, "Cool, lower that by just a little bit,
yeah.
and it'll be on time." And sure as shit, I mean, he was right. So
Yeah, the one thing I learned is that when you're recording, your sample rate should be low.
yes,
Every plugin that you use slows down your processing time. So if you can, like, always record at the lowest possible sample rate, but when
yeah,
you're mixing and mastering, since you're not going to be using the plugins, you go
yeah,
up to like 256,
yeah.
and that eliminates your latency issues. Um, but yeah, I mean, I learned that last year, not, possibly 20 years ago. So,
Not for nothing, it's amazing how much you can learn when just talking to other, folks. It is,
yeah.
if
Well,
you think you know everything, you know nothing.
so
You can always learn.
when I became an unemployed piece of shit, I started taking I
Continue.
I started taking classes through Coursera through New York State, and the thing I was focusing on was recording,
Right.
because I've always wanted to get into recording. I'm like, well, if there's ever a time to switch the field, it's right now.
Yeah.
So let me learn as much as I can, rely on resources as much as I can. And I have a couple buddies that were gonna like, have me down to their studios and actually teach me shit, and I kept getting sick, so I couldn't
Oh.
do that.
It's like,
So
great. I caught a nice case of AIDS or whatever.
so as I'm down for the count, like sitting on my computer for 8 hours a day just studying and like reading as much as possible. But big shout out by the way to Dan from Riff Haven Audio and Dan from Liquid Studios.
Got too many Dans out here. One of y'all change your name.
Well, Riff Haven Audio is right here on Long Island, and Liquid Studios is up in New Hampshire,
Oh yeah.
or New Hampshire or Vermont. I can't remember where he is, but they both have podcasts out on YouTube, and I want to say it's weekly that they do it, but it's really solid advice for the home recorder.
Yeah.
So they'll teach you how to basically do everything from start to finish. How to prep your room, how to treat your mics, how to find the right mics, how to get your tone where it needs to be, little tips and tricks of the trade, and like really dialing in a good metal tone.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, how to mix, how to like really edit your shit. Like kudos to both of them, and I wish them nothing but pure success with what they do because they're really speaking to the majority at this
Yeah.
point. Not everyone's got the money to go to a studio. Not everyone's got, I mean, and that's where it's also kind of conflicting with them is that they're both working engineers, you know?
Yeah.
Like you're giving away your secrets for free online to teach people and help people. Like I respect the shit out of that. So
But here's the thing with that is you can give away the secrets or the tips of the trade. You can't give away your ear.
right.
So I can mix a track and it'll sound okay, but if I go to like Anthony at Westfall,
Yeah.
it's two totally different things because he's got so much experience in recording and, mastering and things like that. Like he is going to make a track that sounds 10 times better than me.
Yeah.
And that is because he has that ear. He could give me trips and like, okay, it was like, hey, here's how you want to do your signal chain. Here's how you want to do all these kind of things, mic placement, but you can't I've watched him, I've watched my buddy Jason edit in real time, and it's
Yeah.
so quick. It's just so quick. They already know what they want to hear when they hear it the first time, and they just dial it in real quick. And then when they're editing and just finalizing that mix, they're just fine tuning it. Maybe it's like
Yeah.
point zero dB or whatever the frig on the track, and they can hear it, but I can't.
Right.
And it just sounds so amazing. Like you
And for
can't.
some reason that point zero makes all the difference.
Yeah, so
You
it's like
know?
I'm gonna do a point zero 0.05 lift on this, signal,
Yeah.
and it's gonna just make so much of a difference. I can't hear that, but they can. So,
Yeah, man, it is an art to say the least.
uh,
Um, it's actually incredible. Sound manipulation is incredible, and like to really sit there and learn about sound and waveforms and shit. It's so cool to
yeah,
see what we can do with just what we're given naturally. Like what technology has been able to do and accomplish in terms of the recording industry. And now that everything is going more digital, it's
yeah,
even crazier.
yeah. It's like you can have a full running studio outside of your basement with all the gear and racks and things like that. I
Most
have it
definitely.
right behind this computer
Yep.
of just gear and stupid shit, and I've got an obscene amount of microphones but I still don't have that ear. So that's why I track it, get the
Yeah.
mic placement right, and then I send it off to an engineer who has that type of skill. Like I have sent Jason, like 30, stems in
Yeah.
a session. It's like, hey, have fun, and he'll make it great. And that's how we got all the tracks that we did because Jason did all my tracks.
Yeah.
It's
That's
like,
very cool, man.
yeah, I just sent him shit, and he just made it into gold. So
With the songs you released, well, I mean, obviously, Careless Whisper's a cover, but Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, what is that song about?
that song is based off of the concept of it's hard to explain. The whole point of that song was to have that kind of Lamb of God-esque instrumental. But when it came to the lyrics about it, I wrote it as okay, you can have Think of it as a mix of Harvey Two-Face and Jekyll and Hyde type thing, where you always have that good and you always have that evil,
Right.
and one tries to take over the other one. And every day you wake up and you spin the wheel of how much, what mood you're going to be at that day, and you're either going to be pissed, you're going to be happy, you're going to be content, or you're just going to be going through the motions.
Right.
Um, with that track, it's the evil's taking over, but like the devil is taking over, but the angel has to, pick up the pieces.
Okay.
So it
Cool.
is through fighting that, which is where the chorus comes in. The second part of the chorus, which is talking about two minds on everything, each one starts to take control. You know, and at the end of it, after that battle, you're just in the hole. Like you don't know how to get out, and you have to get out. That kind of thing. It's not like Lucid Dreams where I wrote that after a very long couple battles with depression and things like that, where it's bringing up memories and causing me to enter these dreams and I can't get out.
Hmm.
But with Jekyll and Hyde, it's that little bit of control that you can have that will determine whether, one's going to win over the other. That's where that came from. And it was like the first line is, look out into the void.
Hmm.
That's it. It's like you're looking out into nothingness because you have become nothingness because of the internal battle that you're dealing with, and you're not helping out the good win over the evil, and you're becoming that what you hate. So that's where that kind of premise comes in.
Hmm.
It was an interesting writing process, but it still came out. It came out all right. I liked it.
It's very interesting. And I always like asking people what they write about lyrically. Some people will open up and tell you, other people will be like very guarded and be like, I'm not really, I don't want to talk about it, you know?
Yeah.
But like, I'm always intrigued by that because that's your vulnerability, you know? You can't hide behind your lyrics.
No, it's my therapy. It
Yeah.
is everything that I have experienced as a 30-year-old man. um, balled up over the years, and I finally get to let it out and not just express myself, but I can also, just be like, man, I really just feel like yelling real hard. Like I want to just scream.
Yeah.
And it gives me that, avenue of approach.
Right. Well, that's the beauty of music, dude. That's the beauty of metal music too, is that it's just cathartic.
Yeah,
You know, you get all your feelings out there and you figure out how you want to express them.
absolutely.
And I think that's something that I feel like most people don't appreciate about metal. Like outsider looking in, they'll never get it. They'll never understand what it actually does for people. But
And it's not just metal for that matter. It's rock, it's hip hop. Like you can get your lyrics out there, or you can get your feelings um out there. Not every hip hop track is about slinging,
no, yeah.
it's like it's not every track is like that. You will have your tracks where it's like, man, I've been feeling really down since my boy got killed, or this, that, and the third, and you get those folks who grew up that hood lifestyle, and they talk about for a track or two, yeah, how it affected them. It's like it's not
Yeah.
about slinging drugs and getting money and banging bitches, that kind of thing. It's about, there are some tracks, and I gravitate towards those tracks, which is this is my mental state. Uh,
100%.
especially guys like, and I know he's not as big as the hip hop field as, the other folks, but like Mike Shinoda of Linkin Park.
Amen, dude.
Because like Mike Shinoda can talk about um his upbringing, how good he is. He could even, I've never heard him say it, but like he could, talk about how much money he's made, but he always talks about how he feels.
Right.
Or he picks a topic and says, I'm going to write about this. That's it. That's how you get Kenji. That's how you get friggin' Step Up. That's how you get
Yep.
what's the other one? Slip Out the Back off the Fort Minor records.
Yep.
Like you get all these songs that are just topic, story.
Yes. That I love that. He isn't there a line in Step Up about taking shots at rappers who don't know how to tell a story
You pick up a pen and write yourself a new identity, but mentally you don't have the hip hop energy with
or
a
the
tendency
tendency
to
to
make
make
up
up
stories
stories?
because it
Yep.
sounds like the only hip hop you ever heard was top 40.
Yeah. Like Shinoda falls under the same category I put like DMX under. It's just
Yeah,
really, really good storytelling, honest emotional truth, storytelling, and just it's not about like it's not braggadocious.
yeah,
It's not look what I've done. It's look what I've done. You know, it's
the
uh, it's honest. I
yeah,
mean, granted, I think most of the shit that DMX has rapped about might be bullshit. He would not be a walking free man for most of his career if everything he said he did.
yeah.
But dude, I've loved listening to his music like since before Linkin Park for sure. You know, DMX is something that always connected with me because it's storytelling. It's really good storytelling
It's
and it's
good
deep.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like as much as I like to dog on, newer artists and things like that, there's a guy who has been around for so many years, which is Ronnie Radke.
Yeah.
And Ronnie Radke will tell his story.
Yeah.
And it's great the way that he lays out the story in the tracks. It might, a lot of people have a lot of things to say about Ronnie Radke. I like his music, and I'm sure that I would like him as a person if I ever met him, because he's as honest as they come, good
Yeah.
for good or evil. He is as honest as he comes, and he will absolutely defend his ass if you try to throw some type of false allegation at
Yeah.
him.
Most definitely.
I love watching him on Instagram. It's awesome. It's like I love it when people are like, "Oh, he did this and the other," and he's like, "My rap sheet doesn't have any of that."
Yeah.
So, are you getting these stories, buddy?
Yeah, I've gone back and forth a lot with Ronnie Radke through the years. Like, is it someone that I've gone out of my way to listen to much? No, but I do respect and appreciate his honesty.
Yeah,
And while I
and his
feel like,
you know,
what's up?
and his contributions to music.
Oh yeah, 100%. I do feel like he overdoes it with like the dramatics once in a while. Like the big operatic parts in his songs. It was like, that didn't need to be there. But like it's there for a reason. It's his art. So it's
And
like,
he
all
can
right.
do it. He has
Yeah.
that vocal range. We've all
Yeah.
heard, sing. We've all heard how he was during his, his I guess, bad era,
Yeah.
when it came to any type of potential substance abuse or mental issues or anything like that. And he has bounced back from that and became such an amazing artist with an amazing vocal range.
Yeah.
It's- I absolutely love and respect that for him. And I'm
Yeah.
totally not just saying that because I don't want him to cut a promo on, on Instagram about it. No, I value his music. The only gripe that I ever had was with Ronnie is just that his whole this is my style.
Yeah.
I invented this, homie. Rock and rap has been around for decades.
Yeah. Way
But
longer than he's been around.
yeah, but like not for nothing, he is a pillar in that.
Yeah.
100%. I can't deny that. And his rhymes are pretty good, not for nothing. His flow's pretty solid.
Oh yeah.
Kid who listened to Busta Rhymes, DMX, and Dadgum Eminem, growing up, it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
He's really good. But it's like, dude, I was listening to, Linkin Park demos in 2000 and 2001.
Yeah.
I was like, it's a little bit before you, pal.
And even then, I mean, prior to Linkin Park, there was still rap rock.
Yeah.
You know,
But like,
it's
dude,
something that's been around as long as rap and rock have been around. You
yeah.
know.
But it's such a good collaboration, and
Oh, it's perfect.
he is taking that to the masses, picking up
Yeah.
essentially where Linkin Park left off
Yeah.
when it came to it, and he is just absolutely taking off, or getting bigger and bigger. He's already took off. He took off years ago,
Yeah.
but he is at that level to where he can sell out stadiums.
Yeah.
And shit, he's not just doing arena tours; he's doing stadium tours. That's cool, man. Like I love that about him, man. He's also got some of the best musicians in the world on his
Yeah.
roster, so I can appreciate that.
Yeah. It's a lot of my friends, like Dylan Owens, for example, Dylan was trying for a long time to get me onto Falling in Reverse and Ronnie Radke, and I was like, I just don't see it. I don't feel it. It's just not doing anything for me. And then he started dropping like his heavier shit.
Yeah.
Like it got way ridiculous. I'm like, all right, I didn't know he had that under his belt because I've seen Falling in Reverse before years ago, and like it was on the Warped Tour, and I swear to you that he was lip syncing.
Oh,
But
I don't know about that. I mean, I feel like yeah, I feel like Ronnie's that guy who even if he sucked, he'd still go out on stage.
I don't know, man. I just tell you that the track was not lining up with his mouth. So
Well, he does have backing tracks when it comes to harmonies. Um, every band plays with backing tracks. I'm sorry, old folks, they
yeah,
do.
yeah,
Fine. Nobody, you want that experience because it's going to sound like the record.
yeah.
It's like you want that experience. But like even,
Well,
following a riff, go
if you
copy.
want to dive down the whole backing track thing, I'll call it Eddie Trunk right now with his old ass. But
Yeah, Eddie Trunk, you fuck. No, I'm kidding.
dude,
There's like
like
I can still respect
every
Eddie Trunk for his contributions to music.
sure,
Like I can.
but
Um, but
he's
he's ignorant when it comes to it.
yeah,
It's like there's
yeah.
a difference between being stupid and ignorant. He is ignorant.
Well,
And
because ignorance is not willing to believe the truth and live in your
yeah,
little bubble.
yeah,
Stupidity is not even acknowledging that the option is out there.
yeah. It's
Like,
like I'm stupid a lot, but I also am open to what happens in the world. So
yeah,
I try to combat my ignorance and try to understand things. That's why like when there that whole thing with the whole backing track goes, it was like, not for nothing, dude. You can play live, but you'd also have to have a 30-piece orchestra behind you, doing it. Not everybody is like Septic Flesh when they did their
yeah,
shows where they had or Demi Borger when
yeah,
they had all those orchestral pieces and things like that. That's really cool.
yeah,
But at the same time, you're working off of a touring budget,
yeah,
which is not as much as people think. You still have to pay your crew, your
yeah,
truck drivers, the venue gets a cut. So there and your performers get a cut
yeah.
of the
The
guitar.
logistics of that is nuts.
Yeah, so like you can't have a 30-piece orchestra or a 20-person choir or anything like that. You have to use the backing tracks to save money and increase being profitable. That's a
Right,
business decision, and not for nothing, it works out 9 out of 10 times better than using those extra elements.
right. I mean, like some bands pull it off. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, for example, they pull it off, but they do it differently. They
Yeah,
don't tour with an orchestra. They hire the local philharmonic in every state they go to, bring them on stage for one or two shows, and that's their thing. They
yeah,
don't backtrack it so much, but they do hire locally. So they don't have to worry about extra buses, extra equipment, extra people to get paid. They make their stops, they move on. You know, it's
yeah,
like it's already set up for them, ready to go.
yeah.
But
And they can rely on those musicians because they're
right,
professionals in and of themselves. It's,
they're an elite class in every state.
yeah,
But you know, when it comes to like someone like Eddie Trunk, dude, like he's talking about Def Leppard. He's talking about Motley Crue. He's talking about like all the 80s metal acts. It's like, dude, but if you really think for a second that you're getting the authentic experience 100% of the time, especially with those two bands, you're mistaken.
listen, I love Def Leppard. I think that
Same.
they're great. Motley Crue, on the other hand, I am a big critic of their live shows,
Yeah,
not their
they
studio albums, not their
no.
legacy. Motley Crue has been such an integral part of music, and they are amazing
Yes.
for it. But at the same time, their live shows are some of the worst I have ever seen.
Yeah.
It's like I can respect going out there knowing that you sound like dog shit and still performing. It's the Nikki Six folks out there who are like, oh, I'm totally playing live. No, you're not, dude. And not for nothing, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay if you're having a bad voice night and you just got to turn up the backing track just a little bit. Freaking Fifth Harmony did that.
Yeah.
Everybody does it. If you're having a bad night, you still want to create a great experience, but you're not man enough to admit it.
Yeah.
Like I'm a compared to these pros that we're talking about, I'm dog shit. I'm nobody. I am absolutely nobody. But at the same time, I'm also a consumer. And
Yeah.
a consumer reserves the right to critique.
Yes.
So, futata, it's like I can still, say like, "Hey man, you're using backing tracks." No, I'm not. It's clear as day that you are. You're singing, there's vocals coming through the front of house that are not coming from your microphone.
Right.
It's okay.
And I have more respect for bands that own it than deny it.
Yeah,
Tell me,
Shinedown. Like
oh
Shinedown,
yeah, Shinedown's notorious for that.
yeah, Shinedown does it. Skillet does it.
Yeah,
Like
well, don't even get me started on Skillet right now,
I
because
like Skillet. The
I do too, but I'm mad at Skillet.
oh, why are you mad at Skillet? What did Skillet do?
Because they have written nothing unique since Awake came out.
Fair. I can't argue that. But I'm more talking about their live shows. I'm not talking about the artistic things when it comes
Yeah.
to that.
Well, but
Yeah,
even then, like I was looking at one of their videos the other day, and someone made a comment about like, oh, finally a band that never uses backing tracks live. And I commented, I was like, you know, Skillet uses backing tracks live. Like
yeah,
you're just fucking around, right? They're like, no, they don't use backing tracks. I'm like,
yes, they do.
yeah, they do, dude.
Yes, they
Like,
do.
well, they have a live orchestra and their backup vocalists. I'm like, do you really think that Corey Cooper is doing that guttural scream in Monster? Do you really believe that? No, that's a track. Do you really think that the violin players are playing every note that they play? No,
No,
they're tracking 100% of that. The
yeah.
mix is too clean.
But I can say that with Skillet, and I have watched their shows, I've watched them live.
Yep.
They still play to it. Like they will
Yes.
enhance it. So like they'll have the backing track as their bass,
Yeah.
but he will still sing. The
Yeah.
violin player will still play, but they have that that I guess a spot marker type of
Yeah.
thing where they can, as well as like in one ear they'll have front of house, and in the other ear they'll have like the backing track,
Yeah.
which is fine
Hmm.
because it creates an outstanding show. I don't understand why people have such a big deal about it. You're getting such a cool show,
Yeah.
and you're going to talk about this for 30 years afterwards, and like, it's fine. It's fine.
No,
It's like
dude.
it's not a big deal.
Skillet, as much as I have not enjoyed any new music in a long time, they are still one of the better live bands I've seen.
Yeah,
And like, dude, Def Leppard, same thing, man. If they did not play with backing tracks for those guitars, it would sound so empty.
yeah.
You need that background.
You have
Like,
to enhance your performance, and that's what a lot of these old folks like Eddie Trunk who just won't admit. They're like, "Oh yeah, my favorite bands don't use
right,
backing tracks." It's like, dog, not for nothing. Your favorite bands back in the day were not playing with the production value that they have today.
right.
And okay, here's one. You really think Static X is using all, it has somebody up there playing all those backing tracks when it comes to the electronic crap? No, they don't. It's on the
Right.
backing track, and it's fine.
Well, I think there's a difference that people draw the line between sampling and backing tracks.
Yeah.
Like Slipknot, Static X, I mean,
They're
really every new metal band sampling.
yeah, it was part of the hey, it's part of the gig. We
Yeah.
all did it.
You know, if you have anything that sounds like a DJ or a scratch pad or song samples or movie quotes, whatever the hell is in your song, that they're not playing that, obviously. It's coming from somewhere. But if you notice that, like Disturbed is a good example, right? They have four people in that band. When they play live, it sounds like they have six people in that band. You know?
Aside from one part, what I can give credit to Disturbed is that even on their records, they only have one guitar. Where in
Yes.
the guitar solos, all you're hearing is the bass. It's the
Well,
same way live.
they
But they,
do
but they
this.
also stack up the guitar parts. Like they'll have three guitars playing for one when it comes to riffing and shit like that.
Disturbed does have one rhythm guitar laying underneath the solos, but
Yep.
that's for balance. But live, same thing, because you need something to fill that void. You can distort a bass and it's still gonna sound good, but you're so accustomed to hearing that second guitar. And it's
Hmm.
balance. That's all it is. The body craves balance. So when you're hearing Disturbed live and you hear more bass, obviously that rhythm channel is in there somewhere because you
Yeah.
can still hear it. But there's nothing wrong with that kind of tracking. Like they're not faking shit. They're
No,
still
they're not.
playing
Yeah,
everything.
they're
I
not
think that I
miming.
think that's the thing that a lot of people are mistaking with backing tracks is that they're not faking it. I mean, some are. Motley
Yeah.
Crue, the one thing that they should fake is Vince, and they don't fake that for some reason. But like they've tracked the drums, they've tracked the bass, they've tracked the guitars. Even when they have Johnny Five, like you don't track him.
You don't track John Five. But at the same time, I can't see that as miming or anything. They're layering to give that larger, sound.
Yeah.
Also, at the same time, they have that as a backup plan to be like, his voice ain't that great. Let's turn him, down in the mix. Let's turn the backup track just a little bit so that way you only hear so much.
Yeah.
Like the only band, I could probably count on one hand the amount of bands that I've seen live, professional level touring bands that don't use backing tracks, and one of them is Godsmack. Um, Godsmack,
Mm.
every time that I have seen Godsmack live, I hear imperfections and I hear them as people,
Yeah.
and it is just awesome because they are so good. Um, but they don't have, they'll have like interlude tracks.
Yeah.
That's fine, but like they won't have, Sully's not doing great. Turn him down.
Yeah.
He's
Well, I
doing.
mean, but again, that's the difference between sampling and backing tracks. You
Yeah,
know, like samples kind of keep the flow of things going between songs. They give you a good interlude or a good intro or outro to a song, or maybe a nice bridge and shit.
yeah,
But like it serves a purpose. The backing tracks also serve purpose. I won't take that away, but like it's real, it's raw.
yeah.
Metallica is another example of that. The
Oh
amount of
yeah.
times that I've heard Metallica screw up their songs live and like Hetfield gives the goofy look like he knows he just fucked something up. I love that, you know? But on
Oh,
the other hand of that, you
I've
have
heard I've heard a few examples of Lars using kick drum backing tracks.
have
Just
you?
yeah,
Oh, I didn't know about that because like he screws up his bass drums a lot. So I
right.
never would have known that.
No, there are certain videos that I have watched now. I am
Mm,
not a member of their crew. I am not an insider, but as a drummer,
mm,
watching him play and watching like because they had that where it's an open stage, you see everything.
yeah,
There have been videos of behind him watching him play for like the double bass run in Blackened,
yeah.
where he's not playing that speed.
Huh.
But at the
I'll
same
have to
time,
go back and watch.
yeah. I'll send you the video. At the same time, Lars can still do it.
Oh
He,
yeah.
he absolutely can. It just won't sound as pretty,
Hmm.
and that's fine. I play double bass, and my drums don't sound pretty. Like it's just
So like I can almost see I'm against the lack of authenticity in professional level,
yeah.
but at the same time, if you're at like Motley Crue, right? I'll keep using them as an example because they're terrible. Like
Damn.
if dude, I love Motley Crue. Like I truly do. I love that band.
Yeah.
But the one time I saw them was on their farewell tour when they were
Which
supposed to where they were like signing the contract and Alice Cooper was going to behead them and all that shit. Like they were Motley Crue. They were they were Crue, you know.
yeah.
They came out, they kicked the shit out of the audience, and like they left everyone in tears because that was it. Vince was awful, but you could look past the fact that he is so far past his prime. He's so unhealthy vocally. He's so unhealthy physically that like you kind of take it for what it is. The guy is just
Yeah.
unbearably out of shape. Like he can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
If someone were to take that performance where the band is actually playing and just slide a fader up to compensate for Vince's god awful vocals, that would have been one of the best concerts I've ever been to.
Yeah. It's like,
But
and
like,
it's nothing against Motley Crue's skill. They have it.
right.
They're all there. They're all musicians.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's okay to have a backing track every now and again, helping you out. It's okay, buddy.
Yeah.
Your your masculine urge to be as original as possible, it's not going to get kicked in the teeth for it. You
Right.
might lose an Eddie Trunk supporter, but it's Eddie Trunk. Who gives a shit?
And that's not taken away from Eddie at all, by the way. I do respect what he's done in the industry, but
Yeah, I said it
there
before. I
has there
appreciate his
has
contributions.
there's never been a whinier person on the subject than Eddie Trunk. It's insufferably bad. And like he took shots at falling in reverse because I think that's how we got onto the segue
Yeah.
is Ronnie's backing tracks and shit. And the I will be on Eddie's side with one thing. When Falling in Reverse came on stage and said we can't perform because our laptops are gone. That was one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. We can't play because our laptops are missing. Like, dude, you're a big name band playing a festival. Borrow some equipment, come out and jam your shit.
Right. But my take on that, and here's where I'll defend the Falling in Reverse crew on that is because laptops not only are providing your backing track, they also have the lighting.
Yeah,
They also have cues, they have metronomes, they have everything when it comes to it. So, but you'd think that they would have backups for it, but I guess for that specific festival, they did not, and that's
yeah,
what led to that. It's a shitty spot, and it makes them look terrible because you can't play live. But their performance is so based on those instrumentals that are coming through the
yeah.
front of house with the band.
So
You
I
know,
mean,
it wouldn't have been the same show.
I see both sides of it. Like it's almost like would you rather have the potential of sounding really bad
Hmm.
without your production, or would you rather not play at all? Because for anyone in attendance who went there for Falling in Reverse, they would probably have much rather them sounded like shit for a show,
Yeah.
or at least subpar for a show, and still
Yeah.
seeing their favorite band rather than have their favorite band be like, we're not even gonna try. You know, like
Yeah. I can get,
it's definitely a double-edged sword.
yeah, you're not going to win in that scenario. You're going to have those diehard fans who are like, oh, who I would have listened to you anyway, or you can have those
Yeah,
other folks who will say, oh, well, why, you clearly don't play live. And it was like, no, dude, they play live. You can hear the mistakes if you
yeah,
go and see them, which buy a ticket, they're awesome. But like, I
yeah.
don't know, criticizing their entire work ethic when it comes to just laptops, I feel is kind of asinine.
Yeah, like seeing it from someone who wasn't even at that show,
Yeah.
like the excuse of it is ridiculous to me because in my mind, you get on stage and you do what you can do. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but at least you tried.
Yeah.
But on the other side of it, yeah, like your your tempo markers, your in-ear monitors, your production, your tones, like everything is controlled digitally.
Yeah.
So like I get that. But on the other hand, it's like,
No,
well,
maybe play. So,
on the other hand, it's like you still know how to use an amplifier, right? You still know how to use a guitar. Just play your shit, like
yeah,
it's
but it wouldn't be the same. Even if they played Early Falling in Reverse, Early Falling in Reverse had all those backing tracks for instrumentals.
yeah.
It was like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Even Escape the Fate had things like that. When Ronnie was in Escape the Fate, which I have seen Escape the Fate live without Ronnie, and they were awesome.
Yeah, same.
That was it. I wish I got to see them with Ronnie because it probably would have been awesome as well.
Hmm.
But Escape the Fate's a great band. Their drummer's
Yeah.
pretty sick. Um, yeah, I absolutely love them. The what were we originally talking about?
Go, I mean,
We've been bouncing
originating
around a lot.
originating this, we started with your song.
Oh, right. Yeah, we did that.
And then we got into recording
Yeah.
techniques, we got into backing tracks for, bands and all that shit. But yeah, man, it's I don't know, it's a hard conversation because so many bands are doing it for a technical perspective now because it
Yeah.
just enhances the live sound,
Mhm.
which is ultimately where we gotta like let that rest. Is that like you can't condemn a band for saying we just want our live sound to be as good as possible for the people who are paying to see it. You
Yeah.
know?
You can't fault that. You
No.
can't at all. Deadlands, Case's
Yeah.
band,
Yeah.
has backing tracks when they play,
Sure.
and it sounds amazing. Like they sound so good because they're trying to enhance it just like how the record was.
Yeah.
It's like that's amazing.
Yeah. You
I
can't
like
knock a band for doing that.
it. If the older bands, Sebastian Bach, looking right at you,
Yeah.
the if the older bands would just say, hey, they are enhancing their show.
Yeah.
Can they play without it? Probably,
Hmm.
but it won't be the same.
Yeah.
And
Which
that's fine.
is yeah.
That's fine. It's okay.
If
I'll give you a nice hug about it. It's okay.
it's the difference between a band like, Skid Row, Sebastian Bach, and a band like Motley Crue or Def Leppard. It's like, well, Crue and Def Leppard have been playing arenas and stadiums their entire career. Sebastian Bach, Skid Row haven't really left the club scene,
No,
you
but
know?
Skid Row is also an insane act.
They
It's
are
like, I love Skid Row. Like they're so good.
one of my favorites of all time, dude.
Yeah. It's
But
like I appreciate it, but like maybe tone down on the trying to fight everybody, Sebastian.
Yeah, I mean that's the other side is like if Sebastian wasn't such an asshole, like
Well, they say the same thing about Ronnie. Like, if he wasn't such an asshole, like his band would be bigger. His band playing stadiums, brother. You can't get much bigger. So,
well, no, but I mean like Skid Row, man, they're at the end of their career. I like so Sebastian though. I think for your last few years, put all your bullshit aside and figure out a way to get on a stage together, make your money, and ride into the sunset.
well, Sebastian's taking over Twisted Sister, ain't he?
Yeah,
He's filming for that.
I'm
I'm excited for how that's going to sound.
I'm so
I'm.
heartbroken over that. You have no
Oh,
idea.
I mean, I know it's not D. Snyder, but like, and I'm sure there's other people. It's like fantasy booking wrestling. Like, there's always that
Well,
extra, person that you can throw in there. But I think as far as you know, talent goes, could be worse.
here's the thing. D. Snyder is an elite frontman. He's one of my favorite frontmen of all time. Sebastian, great, great frontman.
Yeah.
Not a good fit for Twisted in my eyes, but
Why do you
only
say that?
the only reason I'm saying that is because D. Snyder also has a kid named Jesse Snyder. Jesse Snyder is a mini D.
Is he now?
I used to go watch this kid play with his band Baptized by Fire every show they had
That's a cool
at,
band.
at, at the Crazy Donkey. Dude, they were incredible. And he's got like the screams, he's got the cleans. He is D Snyder, just a shorter version of D. And this was him in high school, but he still sings and shit.
Okay.
And when D said he's got to step down, I'm like, they're gonna put Jesse up. This is gonna be so sick. The legacy aspect is there, the talent is there, the bloodline of it is there. Like, it just makes sense. And then they're like, Sebastian. I'm like, man, like
I never.
I've loved Sebastian my entire life, dude. But he doesn't have it the way he used to have it.
That's true.
If this was 20 years ago and they said D can no longer do this, Sebastian Bach is stepping in, I would be probably waiting in line outside to buy tickets for that.
I'd still buy tickets to it, even now. I'm excited to see how it goes.
It's love of the game for me. Twisted, like I have no excuse for not having a Twisted Sister tattoo on me at this point. Like they're one of my favorites, dude. I am
I,
a hardcore Twisted fan, but like it's just preservation of what they are. So if Sebastian can pull it off and they still go out there and they just turn shit up, then I'm about it. I'll give it its fair chance because everything deserves a fair chance. But
that's what everybody has to do is you got to get it's different. It's not D. Snyder. You have to give it that
right,
benefit of the doubt. It's like when any band replaces any member.
yeah.
If it's guitar, it's a little bit easier. If it's drums, it's a little bit easier, when it comes to it. But
The
when it comes
singer
to
is hard though, dude.
exactly
The
with
singer's the identity of the band.
yeah, like when okay, I prevail. Brian
Yeah,
with that whole thing.
yeah,
Um, you know, they can still play those tracks.
yeah,
It's just not going to sound the same. It's not going to have that same impact like, when it comes to Hurricane or
yeah,
uh Every Time You Leave. Like those are Brian tracks. Like you connect with his vocals.
yeah,
Um, but I'll be damned if they're not doing a good job.
yeah.
They're compensating for it. They're doing great.
hmm
Um,
The thing
it
about Brian though, and it's unfortunate to say, Brian's voice is replaceable.
I don't know, man. Like he had such an iconic role in that band.
He did. He used to. But I feel like he's got such a generic pop voice for like pop rock that anyone could do it. So much so that their guitarist just took on the role full time.
Right. Like
And like it's not
it's
taken
not like
away from like
yeah.
from Brian's impact in the band. Like he was there for a reason. Um, but he was also like he missed a bunch of shows. He was kind of on the outs on himself, like he
Well, the Volvox retreat didn't help.
yeah. Well,
They
no,
have,
the injury that was terrible. No
yeah,
one
that's awful.
nobody wants to see that or experience that.
No.
But like their first two albums, dude, were phenomenal. Like truly incredible albums. Um I listened to those two actually on repeat when I was like working at BJ's and shit. I'd
Nice.
be working in the food court and that's all I would listen to as I prevailed. But they were great. They were one of the better new bands that came out. And then things shifted a little bit. Like they couldn't make up their mind if they wanted to be pop or if they wanted to be metal.
Yeah.
Even now, I feel like they need to just make a decision on that because the first album without Brian, I thought it was going to be like banger heavy, and it started out ridiculously heavy, you
Mhm.
know. Um, and then just 99% of that album was just fluffy, you know. There's no edge to it. Plays
That's fair.
great live,
Yeah.
but Eric is one of the best vocalists in metal, like
Yes.
hands down. That dude is one of the elite newer metal vocalists. And I hate to see them waste that on pop. But,
Fair.
at the same time, like I can appreciate what they're doing. I'm a massive Nickelback fan. They played the same game. You write your radio hits, you keep the heavy shit on the album, and you don't really tell anybody about it, but you find out about it.
And then as soon as you go to the live show, you're like, oh,
Oh,
I want to hit somebody. And then
like, I'll never take away a band's style of writing that, but like it just seemed with Brian, it got to the point of being generic, and like they never used to be generic. They
no,
were always interesting, even in their lighter stuff. They were interesting, and then it just got to be like, they're doing this again. They became very predictable writing,
yeah,
and now he's doing Scatterbrain, and I hate it. Like I wanted to like it, but it's just corny as shit, and it's like,
I don't mind it. It's-
I don't know.
I try to give everything the benefit of the doubt when it comes to new music, and I don't mind it if the entire album sounds like that. Yeah, all right. You got to change it up a little bit.
Yeah,
But I can give them the benefit of the doubt when it comes to it because as far as I know, they've only released what, one, two tracks,
one song to the best of my knowledge, but it was very like naggy. Very like antagonistic. But I mean, again, it's what Brian wants to do. It's his art. So his fans are always going to be his fans. I just feel like in terms of what he could be doing, it could be much better, you know?
right? But you could also look at, your even if I know this isn't a side project, it's his own creation type thing.
Yeah.
But like, if you look at side projects over the years, prime example, Chester Bennington and Linkin Park, Dead by Sunrise,
And Gray Days.
totally different sounds.
Yeah.
The well, Great Days was prior to Linkin Park. The
Yeah.
with Dead by Sunrise, it was Chester, and a lot of those
Yeah.
songs similar with Fort Minor with Mike Shinoda. A lot of the songs do sound similar because it
Yeah.
was style at the time.
Well, it's the same vein.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm
Hmm.
excited to hear the rest of the record or EP or whatever they're doing, and I want to hear how it sounds to formulate an actual opinion. I didn't mind the intro track. I thought it was all right. And I love the music video behind it. I thought it was
Hmm.
pretty cool.
I think it's for me like if you want to compare to Chester and Dead by Sunrise, Gray Days, Linkin Park, even the Mark Morton shit,
Which was awesome.
crazy good. But the difference between all of those is it encaptured a different level of versatility in his voice. Whereas Scatterbrain doesn't show anything versatile. It just shows the same stuff he's been doing
Yeah,
for a while. So like I guess that's part of my problem with it is that I was hoping for something new. I was hoping like because he's talking about how this is his mental health struggle. This is everything he's went through with the last few years in I Prevail, how turmoil in the band has led to the him leaving the band and all this shit. I want to hear about that in a more poetic way and less of a whiny way, is what I could say. Is that like it's a story that I really want to hear, but I
yeah,
don't want to hear it in an interview. Tell me about it in your song. Create your art about it, but like again, it has a lot to do with production.
yeah,
That like in that circle, you're going to have a lot of overproduced tracks. There's nothing really raw about it. There's nothing really like full band about it. If Scatterbrain turned out to be Brian and like a DJ, I wouldn't be shocked.
that's fair.
Like I just want to hear more storytelling less simplistically. You doing it for the pop radio, or you doing it for your fans that you were in a metalcore band with for 15
But at
years?
the same time, a lot
Like,
of his fans were attached to his style, like his style of vocals. Like just to be a devil's advocate
yeah,
here, the
yeah,
his whole thing was it was him. For lack of a better terminology, that was all 100% him.
yeah,
Eric was Eric. Brian
yeah,
was Brian. It's the catch-22 of having two singers in a band.
yeah. It
So
really is.
whereas Chester went on to do Dead by Sunrise, and that was his mentality during the time. Like, this is what I want to create, but I can't do it with this band because this is the
Yeah.
direction that we're going. Or with Fort Minor for Mike, it was I want to do something. I want to make this hip hop record, and I want to follow it up with We Major, and I want to do all these things. Um, Brian is doing Brian. He
Yeah.
wants to make music that he makes, and his fans will follow him.
Hmm.
And he'll have that base for it. I just want to know if he'll play live, like if he'll go back into
Yeah.
YouTube, because I Prevail was great on stage. Even
Hmm.
when Brian was having their worst day, it was better than most singers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I just saw them over the summer. They still bring it. I Prevail is still a top tier band. But
I'm biased. I like Gabe on drums. I think he's one of the best drummers on the planet right now.
dude, he is out of his mind on drums.
Have you been watching? He does interviews now. Like he does like sort of a podcast type deal, but he does sit down interview segments with musicians to talk about trials and tribulations when it comes to it.
Oh,
On
cool. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, like on the professional touring realm. Like how
Hmm.
with you do the um it's not so much just local musicians because you've had national international acts on there, especially the
Yeah.
lady with the parrot. That interview was great.
Shout out
Um
Reaps.
yeah, it was like you all just like look at me right now. You all need to check out that interview if you haven't watched it. Watch it. Um
Yeah, I just want to take a second too. With Reeves, she was so much fun and so knowledgeable, and she's so filled with energy.
yeah.
Dude, I loved her. Absolutely loved her. And another one, Bitoku from Sailing Before the Wind,
Mhm.
from Japan. Amazing, amazing Japanese metalcore band. My two internationals that I just want everyone to check out.
Yeah. But like you have gotten to, you have interviewed national, international,
Yeah,
as well as local musicians, but you keep that basis of what is your baseline,
yeah.
what made you get to this point, and I admire that. Honestly, it's been really cool watching you go from interviewing, a couple just local acts to interviewing these international folks, where you're just like, yeah, we're just gonna keep it business as usual, but for us fans that are on the other side, we're like, he got who? Awesome.
Dude, trust me, I'm shitting myself 99% of the time talking to these big names. I'm like,
As soon as you told me that you had the drummer of Shadows Fall, I went, it's over. It's over. This man's never going to do another local interview. He's going to do his thing. And he's going to pop up and end up on Sirius XM. So,
man, dreams.
dude, absolutely. Absolutely, man. But
But
like, yeah, but I think I want to see how the record comes out with Brian.
I was gonna say I still want to hear the whole record because from from an artistic perspective, I can appreciate what he's trying to do. I just don't know if that's the lead song that I would like. I don't know if there's like maybe a hidden gem on the album. Is it
Right.
gonna be more rap oriented too? Because
That could be cool.
I like there's a lot of different elements that I want to see him explore. But I'll never know if I don't give it a shot.
That's
So
true.
I would rather listen to the album in full before I say like Scatterbrain's a dog shit band I'm never gonna support. There could be a banger on that album too,
Yeah.
you know? Like
Got to give the college try to music, man. And that's what I try to tell folks. Like with Krista, she'll come home and I'll be listening to Don't Hit Me, country. I'll
not
listen to
terrible, man.
country.
I have a
Yeah.
country playlist.
Yeah, I've got country, I've got R&B, I've got a Latin playlist, I've got whatever I'm thinking or whatever I'm feeling that day.
Man, you're such a drummer, it's crazy.
I know, right? It's almost like I did this for a living for a little bit. And I try to keep that mentality of it because you can always find a track that you really like.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't get here's a prime example. I did not know who Bad Bunny was before he wrestled at Backlash with Damian Priest. Like I didn't
That's
know
fair.
because it's not my genre. It's not where I go, but I opened up my eyes to his music and I watched
Yeah.
his live shows and I watched his his interviews, and even though I don't speak Spanish, I can still understand the artistic interpretation of his product. I thought it was great. It was
Hmm.
like it's not something I would willingly turn on at, 3 in the morning, but it's something that I can go, hey, there's some bounce to this. Like I like this, man. Like it's a good
Exactly.
vibe.
Like I don't know his music. I couldn't tell you a single name of a single one of his songs, but the whole thing with the Super Bowl, I'm like, well, he's an entertainer.
Yeah.
I've seen the
He,
guy wrestle. He's an
he's
amazing wrestler.
and not for nothing, we grew up with Drew Carey as a as a celebrity. We grew up with Pete Rose. We
Yeah.
grew up with all these people that were coming into the wrestling sphere who couldn't do shit.
Yeah.
I love Bad Bunny in the ring.
Yeah.
And as much as I hate Logan Paul,
Yep.
is still an amazing
You
wrestler.
better
He
give that
gets
man
it.
his flowers.
I will give him his flowers. He gets it. He gets the grind. He's on Raw all the time. He's not
Dude,
just a part-time act. He's doing
exactly.
this for real. Did he grind through the indies? No. Has he been through the everybody's era of going through death matches in GCW? No. But he is getting the wrestling as well as the sports entertainment aspect of it, and I can absolutely respect that.
One thing that needs to be said for Logan Paul is that while he hasn't gone through the indies, while he hasn't really grinded his teeth the same way the other guys have, that man has never been afraid to take a big spot.
Yeah.
He's never been afraid of a bump. He is more full time than the full timers.
Yeah.
You
He
can
does.
count on seeing him every single week.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like, but
um,
he's got that natural heat.
dude,
Uh,
he is the best heel in the game right now.
He's got natural heat, and he doesn't have go away heat.
No,
He's got I hate you heat,
yeah,
and
he's
that is
got
him.
real heel heat.
Yeah, everybody
Like,
wants to see him get his shit kicked in, but they don't want him to go away because then who else are you gonna see getting beat up?
dude, I mean, I don't even want to see him get his shit kicked out of him anymore.
I do.
He he's paid his dues in my eyes. He's paid his dues. Um, I mean, he's not the ideal come up story, but you know, I don't need the come up. I don't need the guy to go through the indie. He's got natural talent,
He
and
does.
like that man can fly.
Oh yeah.
Like
He,
him versus Javon Evans is a match that needs to happen.
oh yeah, dude.
Give me that
What?
springboard shit, dude. I'm all
Yeah.
about it.
I can admire his natural talent. I really can. The only knock I'll have is that you thought that springboard moonsault was original. Look up Super Crazy, homie.
Oh no, yeah,
Doing that
no.
years prior. But as far as let's say eventually down the line they gave Logan Paul the world championship. That'd be fine because he's been working
Yeah,
towards it. He was United States champion. He's a tag team champion. The guy has done, worked his way to that point. It's not like David Arquette in WCW where he's promoting a movie and they just give him the belt.
yeah,
Vince Russo, you're terrible. Yeah, it's like you did great when you had Vince McMahon as a filter during the Attitude Era. I will give you
yeah,
your flowers there. But as far as WCW, when you were playing with Ted Turner's money and you had nobody to filter your shit, you
yeah,
were awful. And
yeah.
TNA too. Reverse Battle Royal. Come on, kid. It's like, come on.
Um, the David Arquette thing is so funny because you'll look back on like wrestlers commenting on it now, and they'll be like, "Yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal, homie. What are you talking about?
It was a
Everyone wanted him dead. Like
it
he
was
did nothing wrong. It wasn't his fault,
no, it was
but
the
people wanted him dead for holding that belt.
and then on the flip side of things, you go 15 some odd years later when he decides to fight Nick Gage in GCW and then just gets
Dude,
his shit wrecked.
he almost died in that match.
Which now, well, to be fair, when it comes to Nick Gage on there, he told him what was going to happen. They
Yeah,
went through their match. David knew what he was getting into. But when it came to like the pizza cutter spot and the light tube that went into his neck,
yeah,
that I could get pissed on at that a little bit. But also, you're going against Nick Gage.
yeah,
Like you're going to get violent. You're going to get cut. You're going to, either get cut hard way or cut, by blading. And you just gotta grit your teeth and go with it. John Moxley did the same thing where he
Yeah.
put a pizza cutter in John Moxley's mouth and said, you know, I'm doing it. And Moxley thought he cut his tongue out. Like, you know what you're getting
Um,
into.
for anyone listening who's unfamiliar with Nick Gage, GCW, Backyard Wrestling, or David Arquette and his deathmatch career, go watch the documentary You Cannot Kill David Arquette. Phenomenal
Yeah.
movie. I loved every second of that. And like it really I've always loved David Arquette. He's just been a dickhead actor. But like Ready to Rumble is one of the best wrestling movies ever made. I will
Yes.
stand by that. And he's just a fun guy.
Yeah.
But you challenge him and he's gonna tell you that you're wrong. And that movie proved he can hang with the boys.
Yeah.
You know,